Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Spending Time with Gregory. And tonight I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my educational journey. Today I'm working on a master's in social work, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how I got to that point. Well, about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I was riding my bicycle down in downtown Miami. And downtown Miami, there's Wolfson campus, Miami-Dade campus. And I was riding my bicycle around, and I saw there was a lot of homeless people sleeping outside of the campus. It was kind of strange because, here's this nice campus right on downtown Miami, and there was a lot of homeless people just hanging out, hanging around, just out, asking for money. There's a McDonald's right there. There's the campus right there. And I was just riding my bicycle, just hanging out, basically, because I love the city of Miami. And it's one of the places I kind of get solace, just riding around, and I was working at a boatyard at the time, and I was doing pretty good, as far as the recovery process. So seeing these homeless people out here, I said to myself, I want to help these people. I mean, somebody help me, what can I do to help them? So I had been to college when I left high school, but then, I dropped out. So I said, when I went to college, originally I wanted to be a lawyer, so I eventually dropped out. And so I decided to, while I was riding around that campus, to go into the office and register for college. So I went inside, I did the paperwork, registered, and they sent me over to the financial aid part of the registration. And the lady told me that, I can't get in, and because I had a default student loan, and I got kind of discouraged. I was like, man, I really want to help these people, but I can't get back in college because I had a default student loan. What am I going to do? So I was walking out of the building, and the lady came behind me and she said, "Hey, guy, you want to go back to college, huh?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "There's a homeless shelter that'll, help people go to college. Just go there and tell them you want to go to college, and maybe they'll help you go to college." And she told me where the homeless shelter was, and I got on my bicycle. I didn't have anything to do that day, so I rode over to the homeless shelter. A lot of homeless people standing outside, and I rode up on my bicycle, locked my bicycle up, went inside. When I got up front, the lady asked me, did I want to take a shower? Did I want to eat lunch? Did I want some socks or t-shirts? I told her, no, I want to go to college. So she sent me to the mailroom. So I went back there to the mailroom, and there were some people standing out front, and I went up there, and I told the lady out front in the mailroom that I want to go to college. And she said, hold a minute. So this guy comes out, from behind in an office, had a clergy outfit on. And I told him that I want to go back to college, or go to college. So he gave me a piece of paper, and at the bottom of the paper, it said, "May God bless you. Just take this back to the college." It said at the bottom, "May God bless you." So I get on my bicycle, I ride back to Miami-Dade College, go back into the financial aid office. The same lady was there. And I go inside and give the lady the paper. She looked at the paper, asked me what classes am I taking? And I walked out of there zero balance. I was back in college. I was like, wow. I was back in college. So every semester, I had to go and get that paper. Go to the mail room. The guy would give me the paper, and I would go and get that paper and give it to the college, and it was zero balance. So I was able to take my classes. So I was in my last semester at Miami-Dade College. I was getting ready to graduate. I had my last semester, and the homeless shelter had changed their procedure. They had a new director. So no longer was I able to go and get that paper, for college. So I had heard that they had changed their policies and stuff like that. And by this time I was doing pretty good. I had bought me a truck, and I was working at a boatyard. I was making pretty good money, but I wanted this paper so I could finish my education in this last semester. So this crazy idea to dress up like a homeless person, get some dirty clothes and dirty hat and everything, put my bicycle in the back of my truck, drive my truck down to Miami, and I parked 4 blocks away from the homeless shelter. Got there like 4 a.m. The shelter doesn't open till 7 o'clock in the morning. So I get there early in the morning. There's homeless people on the gate, and I'm dressed like a homeless person. I got dirty clothes on. I locked my bicycle up. So I'm sitting on the gate, waiting for the shelter to open, along with the other homeless people, all dirty and stuff, looking raggedy and stuff. So when the gates open, all the homeless people line up to go inside the building. So I'm like the third person in line, the homeless person, third person in line. So we get inside, and the lady at the desk, everybody comes up, first person in line, tell them what they want. And I'm listening to them. And the first person said they needed socks, a food pass, and they wanted socks, a food pass, and take a shower. So when it's my turn to come up, I told the lady I wanted socks, a food pass, and I want to go to college. So the lady told me to stand to the side. I stood to the side. After she completed the line, she came over to me, and she said that, she looked at me, and she said, "So you want to go to college?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "You don't look like you're homeless." So I said, "What's the homeless look like?" And she kind of, made me upset. She told me she couldn't give me a paperwork to go to college because I don't look homeless. So I kind of got upset, and I left there. I remember it was a Friday. I was pissed off. I went home. I was discouraged. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get the money to graduate from college. How am I going to get the money? I mean, I'm on my last semester. I want to continue to go to college. So I decided, I sat down and I wrote a letter to the college president, the president of Miami-Dade College, Dr. Padron. I decided to write him a letter. I don't like to say names, but I want to say names. I don't want to say his name. So I sat down that Friday night and I wrote a letter to the president of the college, and I told him my whole story. And I kind of poured my heart out in the letter, and I emailed it to him. I woke up Saturday morning with a letter, with an email, a response from my iPhone directly from the president of the college. And he was telling me, Mr. Kemp, I read your letter. I'm very inspired. And we're going to get you through. You know, you're going to graduate. We're going to get you through this. I want you to go to see the Dean of Students on Monday. Guys, thank you for spending time with Gregory. Have a good evening. Thank you for listening to my video journey. See you in my next video.